Hi there, Tropical Bob here with another way to save money on your tobacco habit. And this time we're going back to the very beginning of the known use of tobacco. One of the first uses was sniffing a ground, powdery, dusty tobacco leaf. This was discovered by a monk traveling with Christopher Columbus early in the 1500s, and he took the tobacco back to Europe, where it found favor. Quickly found favor among aristocrats, as a matter of fact. And in the next century or two, smoking tobacco in primitive pipes and primitive hand-rolled cigars was common among commoners, whereas sniffing tobacco was an aristocratic pursuit. Recently, companies are reporting a 5 to 10% increase per year in users of nasal snuff. That's primarily because cigarette prices have skyrocketed and taxes have become onerous on that form of tobacco. In contrast, nasal snuff is about the cheapest thing you can buy. A whole 50-gram tin of it is like $10. There are several ways to apply nasal snuff to the nostrils. The most prevalent is probably to use your index finger and your thumb to get a pinch and then bring the pinch to your nostrils. Now you want to sniff, not snort this stuff. Sniff it so that it doesn't shoot up into your sinuses and cause a throat burn as it drains down the back of your throat. That's not my preferred method. Pinching gets dusty ground tobacco under your fingernails, just makes a mess. Also, bringing it to your nose this way might leave a brown spot right there, and you know what your coworkers will say. Another method is to take nasal snuff in packages like this, McCrystals, open the end here, and sprinkle some across the back of your hand, then bring it to your nose and inhale it from the back of your hand. This too leaves a big brown blob right here, and you better remember to remove it. Not a good method. By far the best method I've ever discovered are the new bullets. Bullets are a way of packaging snuff that gives you a predetermined dose, exactly the right size, roughly the size of an apple seed. And they look kind of like a Vicks inhaler, do they not? So what you do is you turn it upside down with the arrow pointing up like this, then you hold the arrow and turn it right side up. Bring it to your nose, sniff lightly, and you just got exactly the right amount. Let's try it in the other nostril. In practice, in a restaurant, in a place of public where the public is around, you're going to appear to have a cold, and you're treating your cold with some kind of an inhaler. Not necessarily a bad thing. You won't turn a lot of heads. Nasal snuff is, with these new bullets, a very clean, easy way to ingest nicotine. How much nicotine? Each sniff is about 0.5 milligrams of nicotine. So each nostril, you've got 1 milligram of nicotine. Now in equivalency, a standard snooze delivers about 1 milligram of nicotine. A Marlboro cigarette puffed on and inhaled 10 times delivers about 1 milligram of nicotine. So nasal snuff holds its own with both cigarette smoking and the use of snooze or pouch tobacco that way. So what does it feel like sniffing ground, dusty tobacco up your nose? Well, there's a little initial irritation, and don't be surprised if you sneeze the first time you try it. So it's one reason why you'll note that most users of nasal snuff carry around paisley handkerchiefs like the old cowboys did. There's hardly anything more disgusting than sneezing into a white handkerchief in public. Tests have shown that a 1 gram bullet of nasal snuff is equal to 1 pack of cigarettes. So this is a way you can pace yourself and measure yourself. If you become a regular nasal snuff addict, you're going to use this about every half hour. About every half hour, the same as you would a cigarette. You'll likely order your nasal snuff online from a place like Nicotine Rush or Mr. Snuff in the USA. There are so many flavors to choose from, so many types of snuff. There seem to be hundreds. Taste is a very individual thing, but I have tried now probably 40 or 50 different types of nasal snuff. I prefer a more moist variety over the dries, and I'm not a big fan of menthol. I like the flavored snuffs better than the pure tobacco unflavored snuff. So where does that leave me? Well, I'll tell you, if I had to choose just one nasal snuff, it would be Wow Coffee Bite. This is like sticking your nose into some ground coffee beans. It's just, it tastes and smells wonderful, and it lingers for 15, 20 minutes in your nose. Another one that is a close second, if not first, is Dolakia Swiss chocolate. Ah, Swiss chocolate is just incredible. This too is like sticking your nose into a Swiss Miss cocoa bag or something. It's wonderful, and it too stays with you. But if you won't stay with you, it's got to be Dean Swift's Inch Kenneth. A very strange name, but what this is a snuff made and flavored with sandalwood and musk. Now, it reminds me of perfumes used by girlfriends I had many years ago. And it's a very pleasant memory, as a matter of fact. This will kill just about any smell in your environment for at least an hour. I used to know a medical examiner who routinely lit up a cigar when he had to go into a room with a decomposing body. I asked why, and he said, well, the cigar smoke, I just blow it out in front of me, masked the smell of the environment. I understand, and I understood after visiting a few with him. This would do the same thing today and give you a nicotine kick at the same time, although this is smaller than some of the others. A coming brand in the snuff world is Toque, T-O-Q-U-E. Toque offers a huge variety of nasal snuffs and at reasonable prices, made in England. When they arrive, they'll smell strongly of ammonia, which means they're very, very fresh. Open the lid, leave the tin open for about 2 days, no more ammonia smell, very strong, good snuff. Whiskey and honey is a favorite with many in this line, and they also have a product called Quit, which is just pure tobacco with a very high nicotine strength. There's a USA product called Quit with Snuff. This happens to be one in sandalwood flavor, and this bullet is in jasmine. Both are excellent, tastes really good. And what they're telling you is they've elevated the nicotine just a bit so that if you're quitting cigarettes, you're not quite so antsy when you are using nasal snuff. Keep in mind that nasal snuff has almost as much nicotine as cigarettes anyhow. The delivery is just different and a little tiny bit slower initially, but then comes on like a steamroller after 10 minutes. Let's try one more equivalency and then we're done with nasal snuff. Arguably the most effective nicotine replacement therapy offered by Big Pharmaceutical is nasal spray containing nicotine. It's a prescription-only product and it's very, very expensive. Each squirt of the nasal spray produces 0.5 milligrams of nicotine in the nostril. So, twin nostrils, 0.5, 0.5, 1 milligram of nicotine in each nostril, the equivalent of smoking a cigarette. .5 milligrams of nicotine. .5 milligrams of nicotine at a price pennies on Big Pharmaceuticals dollars. That's how you save money on your tobacco habit.